Hey guys, Zach here. Long time no see. It seems like this is the same case every time I make a video, but I was just looking at my channel and it looks like I haven't made a video in like 7 months. So I'm all moved into a new house, and so I'm hoping I have some more time to pump out some long overdue videos on some pieces that I've gathered over the past year or so. Today I want to give you guys a look at one that I got, I think either early this year or late last year, can't even remember, it's been so long, from Enrique Pena. This particular model I'm going to talk to you about, to give you a little bit of an impression and overview on today, is the Stinger. So he made a number of these. I'm not sure, I haven't really seen on his feed that he's pumping out a bunch more Stingers at the moment. He's got a few other new models that he's been working on. But at any rate, I want to give you a look at this particular one. Now, I was recently, or not recently, but originally turned on to Enrique's work through Instagram, through social media, and mainly I had seen a lot of the model he calls the Diesel, and it's quite a large knife compared to the Stinger. It's about a 4-inch blade, recurve. Beautifully made, beautiful pieces, just a little bit too big for my taste, so I actually fought the urge to get one, and lo and behold, eventually started making a few smaller flipper versions. Now, of course, Enrique makes a lot of slip joints as well, a lot of Lanny slip joint models too, but my collection being mainly flippers and frame locks, I've mostly decided to stay with these up to this point. Being that his work is so impeccable, though, I could see myself potentially owning some of his slip joint models, just because, I mean, they really are beautiful pieces. At any rate, I reached out to Enrique when I started seeing these Stingers pop up, months ago, like I said, and it just so happened he had somebody, I think, back out on an order, and he had a space for me, so I went ahead and I requested. I'd originally requested something completely different than this. I'd requested, I think, a 3-hole pattern frame version, but then I wrote him back a few hours later. Actually, I called him back a few hours later, and I asked, hey, I've seen your jigged finish that you do on some of your models. You could see here. Is that something that is an option for me? And he said, well, that takes a lot of extra effort, and I really eat through a lot of tools by doing that finish, but I would be happy to do it for you for X number of extra dollars. And I can't recall how much it was, but there was a premium to get this particular finish. So I said, you know what, go ahead and do that, since there wasn't any of these at the time in existence with this finish, with this treatment on the handles, so that's what I ended up with. Take a look at this knife here, give you kind of an overview of what it looks like. Flipper frame lock. I went with a acid stone wash and a satin flat type finish on my blade. You can see here the Stinger actually has no recurve, which is appealing to me. I'm not really a big fan personally of recurves, so this model was already kind of in my wheelhouse right out of the gate. It's got about a 3.5-inch blade, which again fits my my size preferences pretty well. And I believe, let's take a look overall. You're looking at about just over 8 inches overall length. I went ahead and had Enrique do a dark brown or dark bronze finish on this particular one with blue hardware, blue titanium hardware. You can see the pivot here. And the screws are blued. The back spacer is a solid geared back spacer, also blued. The camera really probably isn't picking up the colors here. The blue that he does is just really amazing. He does a very good job on his ano. Clip side here, you can see same type of deal. All blue hardware. Sculpted titanium clip, which, kind of give you a little segue. Not all sculpted titanium clips are created equal. I know a lot of guys like them. They like the look and the extra effort that goes into making a clip like this, but I find that some makers, when they go with a titanium clip, the clip ends up being bulky and it has bad spring retention or too much spring retention, and it just ends up not being very well done for actual using purposes. Enrique, his clips are money. They are perfect. This clip holds this knife in pocket perfectly. It comes out easy enough, and so on. So really well done there. The flipping action is it's superb. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Anybody that's owned a Pena can probably attest to that, or if you've ever handled one yourself, you would know. Of course, he uses a little bit more detent, I think, than some makers do. These knives ride on bearings, but not an issue at all for most of us. I mean, this thing just flies out. The action is very positive. Now let's watch the closing action, which everybody seems to be. Let me back the camera up here a little bit for you. You can see here. It won't completely fall shut on its own, but with a little bit of wiggle, you could see here. I can get it to, you'll see the detent suck that blade in. Perfect. Personally, I don't like a knife that completely falls closed on its own. I find that, well, I've actually had them fall on my fingers before and give me a little cut here and there. I like a little bit of drag. There's a difference between smoothness, in my opinion, and just free-flowing looseness. The lockup is perfect. You know, that bank vault lockup that should be standard with any custom knives you're buying now at this point in the game. You can see the actual lockup there, somewhat early, maybe about 30%. His lock disengagement is also amazing. This is going to be a bit of a one-sided overview, I think. Not overly, not too much lock tension, but not too little where you feel like it's going to slip and let the blade close on you. Just the perfect amount of lock tension there. Now let me give a zoom in here. He's got these pockets. The pocket for lock disengagement kind of milled out for a little bit of relief for your thumb, which is great. Man, I am going to have to experiment with my lighting here at the new place. You get the idea. Just a beautiful, beautiful knife. I believe, and it's been a while, that this particular one is in CTS XHP, but it could be S35VN as well. I'm not entirely sure. I have actually carried this one quite a bit. I've used it, I've stropped it. You can see that I'm not full of shit because I've actually got a little bit of wear here on the clip. I showed this to a number of people at Blade Show, and they were just kind of blown away too. Enrique, I mean, he really does fantastic work. He's a great maker to deal with. You know, I put in the order with him. He set up a phone call with me to go over the order, which I think is kind of above and beyond what you run into with a lot of makers. A lot of makers, you end up with an email exchange or a text exchange, or so on and so forth. Enrique and I actually had a conversation to talk about some of the different options he could do, some of the different finishes, some of his opinions on what he would think would look good on this particular knife, and I really appreciated that. We get stuck in the digital world of living through email, and I actually like having a phone call to talk to people. Again, guys, this is the Stinger model by Enrique Pena. I'm not really going to ramble on too much. There's not a single negative thing for me to say. There's not any criticisms I have on this particular knife. The jimping, as you know, I'm a jimping snob. I love jimping. The jimping is perfect. The ergonomics on this knife are perfect. The blade is beautifully ground. It's perfect. The swedge here at the top. So I'm just going to give you one final look at the whole knife open, and then I will sign off. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate those of you guys who have stuck around, even though I haven't put out any videos in 7 months. So hopefully, and I can't ever make any promises, hopefully I'm able to rectify that. I've got a number of knives here even sitting next to me that I can get on camera here in the next few weeks. As always, stay safe, and we'll talk to you later.